allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please do the roll call.
Councilman Mobley.
Here.
Councilman Hoyt.
Here.
Councilman Lewandowski.
Here.
And Supervisor Williams.
Here. All right, we have the review and approval of minutes from our April 10th town board meeting. I'd like to make a motion to accept those minutes. May I have a second? Seconded by Councilman Hoyt.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, under reports and remittances from department heads and town committees. This evening we have the supervisors' reports for April. Anything anyone would like to comment on those? All right, moving on to the town clerk's report.
Town clerk fees brought in $35.64. Planning board brought in $300. Trash brought in $2,706. And building permits brought in $1,061. Total revenue for the month was $41.9260. After paying Agri Markets and NCON or DEC, the check going to the supervisor was $4,126.64.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the town clerk's report. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Mosley,
Yes.
Councilman
Here.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
and Supervisor Williams.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Vicki. All right, Jared, Highway Superintendent's report.
Not a whole lot of new stuff to report. Spring's here, and we're out grading roads. Graders are running pretty much every day. And if they're not, it's raining. You know, we're out shoveling culverts and getting the roads in shape. But otherwise, nothing really to report. Nice and boring.
Okay. You don't have anything for Jared? Okay. All right, I don't have an assessor's report. Do we have one? We don't have one this one? All right, I know the website has announcements about the tentative 2023 assessment roll. It's been posted. It's accessible on the county website. There are also dates coming up in May for grievance board day. So avail yourselves of that and we'll try and keep everyone as posted as we can. Okay. All right, buildings and code enforcement. Hi, Tom.
We have 10 permits out year to date. Just an update on all the work that's been done at the town hall and the senior center. We did put a new light up here with the flag. That actually works now. So it's on a sensor, so if it's on and off, it should. The senior center, we replaced the bulbs that were out in the office area with all LED. We replaced them all. More energy efficient. We replaced the light switch in the new office for Lisa, because the other one was a motion sensor. And we put a new thermostat in there with a lock on it, so the heat stays at a constant temperature and not being up and down and not working. The heating system is all up and running now. The rheostat did come in for the system, Trojan did that. The water system, we did find parts for the old UV system to replace the ballast and the computer board. So that's up and running. When it was installed, actually it was all installed backwards, so we corrected that problem. Put a drain in as per the health department. We took 2 additional tests that we're waiting for results for bacteria and coliform. That's done, so it's up and running. The new backflow valve was put in, it's certified, and I got an extra bulb for the UV system. So we have one on hand, so we don't have to pay Trojan $180 to come out and replace a bulb. Had considerable time in the last month down there, but everything is up to code. Did get a hold of Rich Elder. Everything's copacetic with the health department, and everything is good down there. Planning board, we have one subdivision, a minor 2-lot subdivision on Cranwell Road tentatively for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
And the roof, I did go down and see John when he was repairing the valley. The roof's in pretty rough shape at the senior center.
We're gonna hit that on new business tonight, so, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that and that soffit needs to be replaced on this end of the building.
Right,
We also did replace the light that she and I went down there that one time on, it was making a noise. We replaced the two of them with LEDs.
okay, oh, good,
But there's birds in there now, they're nesting, there's chasing birds out of the place.
right, right.
And then Steve and I ran wires up through the ceiling and up into the attic, so they're not hooked with tacks through the building, around through the doors.
Okay. All right, good. Thanks, Tom. All right, the rescue squad, I see Captain Sullivan.
We were dispatched for 25 calls in the month of April. We responded full crews for 15 of the 10 that were missed. One of them was a cancellation in Petersburg. Of the other 9, we were able to get a first responder off the floor for 5 of them, but unable to confirm a full crew with a driver. Our fly car has seen quite a bit of mileage this month compared to normal. We're getting better during the days, but that's where we struggle the most with. We do want to thank you guys for getting them started on the new bathroom in there for us. We appreciate that. So other than that, we're doing the best we can at the moment, and people are getting up to speed slowly.
Okay, all right, thank you, Captain. You were thinking June at one of our last meetings, maybe you'd be.
We're shooting.
You're shooting for it, okay.
Yeah, we got a couple of the newer EMTs that are doing much better now, so we're hoping to get them on their own in June. So.
Okay. All right, anything else with Captain Sullivan? No. All right, for dog control officer?
Free dog grooming use. That's it.
Okay, youth program director, we're still actively soliciting someone for the position. If anyone knows anyone that would like to do something to occupy their summer at least, please let us know. All right, the Grafton Community Library. Eliana.
Hi. So for April, we had 572 books checked out, 265 ebooks for patron visits, 325 adults, 72 children, and 12 teens. Program attendance 47. Upper Hudson Library System has a program, an expedition program. They're having people visit all 36 libraries in the Upper Hudson system, get their maps stamped, they get little goodies at different libraries. So it's been pretty busy. We've had 86 adults, 12 teens, and 32 kids visit our library to do the expedition. We did the wool dryer ball workshop, and that was a full class of 10. We did soap making this past Saturday, full class of 12. The kids off the bus and the Zumba are active, and they'll be running through the end of June. We have make your own bug repellent first week of June programs.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Leanne. All right, the state parks report, I don't see Tamara. Okay. All right, the recreation committee.
Hi, am I supposed to stand or sit?
You can do whatever you like.
Okay.
This is Jen Rogowski with the recreation committee.
Okay, so I don't know how little or how much I'm supposed to share, so you tell me if I'm oversharing since this is my first meeting. But the first event is the town picnic on June 4th from 2 to 5. That is going to be at Graywalk Meadows. The entertainment is being donated by Troy Sandy Gravel, and that is going to be the River Road Boys and Christina Rager. We are also working and waiting on a donation from Sweeney's Tree and Land. So they were going to give a donation that was just made out to the town to be put into the account, but we wanted to use it towards this event. Is that okay that it could just be deposited and we would pull it out, or is there some other way you'd prefer us to do that?
My inclination was that they just make it out to the town and then we put it in the line item fill, but
Have you guys put it in the budget?
we have a line item for recreation committee, yes.
Yeah, so as long as they're not, you're just getting food stuff, you're not contracting.
This is just gonna be oh yeah, for the event, yeah. Just
Yes,
food
if they're using it for
decorations.
stuff that you budgeted for, they're good to go. because you don't have to do a contract approval process.
So just accept the donation made payable to the town of Grafton and then just route the money to the recreation committee line item. Good. Does that work?
Great, yes,
Okay,
that's
good.
fine. The town library is also partnering with us. They're going to either do face painting and kids tattoos, and then also balloon animals, which should be great. And then a quick question I had for that event is Anne has this nice big board that we're going to be able to put a sign on. Is that something that we're okay to just put in the town park? Is that something we need to get approval? I don't know how that works.
Like a sandwich board kind of thing?
Yes.
That just announces the event?
Yes.
You
Again,
guys-
I don't
you
know
guys
what works and
control all
what
town
doesn't
property,
work.
so it's
Yeah.
how technical you want to get.
Every year for, that sandwich board every year anyway for the.
For the
Festival.
festival.
Yeah, so, yeah, sure. I'm just-
Okay.
So what they're telling you is there's a past practice of allowing it. It's just announcing a town event. Obviously, you can't use boards to announce private businesses,
Yes.
things like that,
Yep.
but
Just, yeah, town event.
Yeah, town event, town picnic.
Okay, perfect. And then we're also gonna be putting signs that Graywack has that we can just cover at the end of, is it Durham? Too, so that can help with some advertisement too, so then people know it's gonna be down there as well. We are still working on donations. I know that, Ingrid, I think you had some emails going out with Stewart's. And we are still going to go to some local grocery stores, but the budget that we're asking for, just in case something falls through, is $350 for food and decorations. I don't know if you needed an itemized of each items, but that's good, that's the amount that we're asking for.
under our procurement. Right, but they would have to provide like receipts.
Yes,
like-
of course.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah. And then my other question with that is that money able to be given to us in a lump sum to then provide back the change in the receipts? Or is it something that, like, I would have to put on my card or someone else in the committee?
Many municipalities have like a petty cash fund to allow different departments to go do what they need to do, and the department then provides the receipt. Has that been the past practice here?
Not for recreation.
I'm seeing nodding heads and then I'm
Not for
hearing
recreation,
nods.
but
Not for,
in
no, not
the
for
youth.
recreation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may have to do a resolution tonight then to allow them to use a petty cash fund of $350.
Yes.
It's up to you guys.
Establish it and then let them use it.
Yeah, because you haven't ever established one for the recreation department.
Mm-mm, no.
Then you would want to do a resolution establishing a petty cash fund of $350 for the recreation department. And then obviously you have to meet all the requirements for giving receipts in.
Of course. So if for any other event, if it was money that I needed to put up front, we always ask for a resolution, or this is
No,
just the fund?
If they do it this one time, your
Mhm.
petty cash fund will be set at $350.
Got it. Okay.
And we have a procurement policy, I believe it's online, as long as you're under a certain number, you don't have to get board approval.
That was gonna be another
Well,
question.
here's the thing, if you're contracting for any services, usually you want to get board approval.
Mhm.
If you're buying goods, then they normally don't have to get board approval if it's at that $350 amount. Because under your procurement policy, I think it starts much higher.
It does, yeah. Phil, Councilman Bodry just had the suggestion of maybe starting it initially at 5.
You
In
could.
case there's,
Yeah.
in case there's overage or,
Yeah.
you know, because you're estimating 350, but 5 would give you
Yeah.
Get
cushion.
ready to do
So we'll
an
say for
emergency
5.
resolution.
Resolution for 5.
So if it's goods, we don't have to get board approval, but if it's an actual, like,
Band playing,
then we have to get board approval. to
yeah,
pull
if
from.
you're hiring some contractor to come and do something, but if you're buying paper plates and you're buying food and all that kind of stuff,
Perfect.
you just gotta give the receipts in. But if it's a contract where the town is actually hiring somebody to do something,
Mhm.
they normally have to do a resolution.
Okay, great. That kind of answers a question I was gonna ask at the end. Is there any list of policies and procedures that,
There's a procurement policy that
and is that
Frank
something
was talking.
that we could, that our
Oh,
company
yeah.
could get to view?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right on our website.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
under
perfect.
codes.
Okay, great, thank you.
And Jen, do you have the tax exempt form?
Yes, you sent that to me,
Okay.
yes, so thank you for that. So that is it for the town picnic. Another event that would be in August that we are partnering with the library on is the Molly Durner concert. the whole event is 500, but we were going to partner and split that for 250.
Partnered with the library, picking up half the expenses, that
Yes.
was your, so the library would fund 250.
Yes.
And I believe we have, there are a few private donors that have expressed interest in paying for Molly as well. So we might be able to do it that way, just, you know?
Not that I've heard
Oh, okay.
of. Sorry.
Okay.
So we're partnering, but Leanna's more taking the lead on it, and we're just talking about ideas and things like that, and helping with the promoting. and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, if the library's gonna do the contracting, then they could use the petty cash fund to contribute. But if they're looking for the town to do the contract, this is a performer, I take it.
Yes, but we're not doing the contracting, the library is.
Oh.
We're just
The
giving like
library's
Then
doing the
simple
contract.
we'll go with
donation.
option A, all right,
Okay.
So
gotcha.
that can be pulled from petty
It's a lot
cash, is what you're
easier.
saying?
Yep.
For the
Your
library.
share of it.
Perfect, okay, great. Okay, and then we do have future events in the works, the committee has met a couple times. We've been talking about some movie nights, paint and sip, a music event, and then some fall and winter themes. So we've had a really good start, even since the last meeting, so it's been really great.
Yeah, very good.
And then the last thing is, there are 2 committee members that have expressed interest, have helped, and are a big part of the town that I would like to ask to be officially put on the committee, which is Donna Baldwin and Leanna Sweet.
And Madonna.
What?
And Madonna.
We're gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she can't.
Okay,
take
March,
anything.
yeah, that's right.
So is that something that you're able to vote on? I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. Who are the
Absolutely.
members that are already in place?
It's myself, it's Nancy, and Heather. I don't know Heather's name.
Hasbro.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. And you'd like to expand by 2 members, adding
Yes.
2 members on. I think we could do that with a motion or a resolution.
Well, you guys are gonna do a resolution, you can do it now or you can do it later, that basically would provide for the appointment of Donna Baldwin and Leanna Sweet to the recreation. You did this for you,
Yeah,
this
right.
last meeting.
Last
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like after that happened, more
Yeah,
Technically,
interest,
it's a
people.
resolution.
Because we didn't do it as a resolution last month. Because we're not spending money, it's just appointing to some random.
Mm. Do it whichever way you want to do it.
I'm just saying that. So-
You're not spending money, no. But not all resolutions are.
Right, but we didn't, I'm just saying.
Just do what you want to do then, all right? Whatever you guys want to do.
Okay, all right. Cross that bridge when we get to that. All right, Jen, do you have anything else? No? That's great.
Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Nice job, Jen.
Motion and resolution. Okay, we did that then a little bit later. Okay, next we have the senior citizen representative.
Me?
Do you want to be? Sure.
I can be.
Yes, this is Lisa Overoffice.
So I just want to introduce myself. I'm Lisa Overocker. I took over Cindy Madison's spot as the Senior Center Director here in Grafton and in Hoosick Falls. The first thing I'd like to do is personally thank each and every board member, your road supervisor, your buildings guy. You have been all tremendously helpful and responsive anytime I call and ask for anything. It's done within hours or a day. I can't ask for anything more. So I appreciate that from all of you. It makes my life much, much easier. A few things that we have done, and you may have noticed, one of the seniors raked out around the senior center itself, and with Jared's help, we got rid of all the leaves, and so it was a little bit nicer there, and the flowers can grow. Speaking of flowers, the seniors would like to put a small raised bed garden in the front of that building. I don't know if that's possible or who I need to ask. I have all materials, they've all been donated. And the seniors are willing to put it together. So if it's possible, I'd like to see us do that. You can let me know on that. May's a busy month for us. We've already started some seeds. We did some upcycling, some recycling of our containers, and started little greenhouses inside the senior center. They started little flowers, either to take home or to put into their raised garden. This Thursday, if any of you are around during the day, we do have a comedian coming, Steve Van Zant. Steve is a nationally accredited comedian who happens to be in the area this week. and is willing to come to perform for the seniors on Thursday. Lunch is always at noon. He'll start at 12:30. So even if you don't want to come for lunch and you want to come for some laughs, please come if you're around. We're doing a Mother's Day tea on Friday. We have more music on Tuesday. Graham Tishy, he's new to the seniors. He's actually out of Troy. He runs the Troy Music Academy. The following week, Pete St. Germain from Brunswick Physical Therapy is coming up for a leg, knee, hip, foot pain workshop. And then the last day of the month, we're hosting an AARP defensive driving class. That is open to the public. 60 and older get first dibs. And then if the class doesn't fill, it's open to 18 and older. It's $30 a person or $25 if you are an AARP member. The 10th and the 24th of this month, the Paynes are doing scanning for history with the Historical Society. They're set up in the Senior Center scanning documents for Grafton, historical documents for Grafton. We do have chair yoga every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we're busy. We're really busy. We're now open 5 days a week. When I first came, they were not open 5 days a week. We're now open 5 days a week. Lunches are only Tuesdays and Thursdays right now. Mondays we're open 9 to 12. The rest of the week is 9 to 3. So it's coming. There's more and more people coming. Just things to come. June 6th, we have Alzheimer's Association coming. On the 15th, we're doing root beer float social for dads. 2 things that I need to ask permissions for. I know, Ingrid, I did email you back in April about the 22nd for the town festival,
Yes.
about having the,
To be open.
to be open.
Yes,
I
yeah.
hadn't heard back. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely, yeah.
And then Tuesday, July 18th, we have some music already scheduled. It's a band called Gone Gray. They're amazing. They're really, really good. They get you up and moving. I'd like us to do it in the gazebo if that's possible and have the seniors come out and listen there. And then if anybody in the community wanted to come and listen at the same time, they could, but it's at the expense of the seniors, not of the town, if that's possible. I just need to know.
What was that date?
The 18th of July. I like to plan far ahead. I'm not a last minute person, so.
So you just need a resolution for that? We can get to that.
Guys, I should be clear, a motion is when you simply say, I move this resolution. Once it's adopted, it becomes a resolution. So that's why I told you I don't want to catch.
Which way goes, gotcha. Yeah, I'm fine with it too. Okay. Okay.
So is that okay, or you'll let me know?
Which date?
The 18th, July 18th,
To be in the gazebo?
to be in the
with music?
gazebo. And if it rains, we'll just move it into the senior center, because that's where it would have been anyways. I just thought it would be nice to kind of draw attention to the seniors and the senior center and the community to have it outside. And it's such a beautiful little park.
Yeah, we can do a resolution tonight for that.
Yep, either that, motion or resolution, whatever.
Guys,
We'll
I
add
just
on to the
explained to
end.
them, a motion is what they do at the beginning of the resolution where they say, I move this resolution. Once a motion is adopted, it becomes a resolution. That's why it really doesn't matter. So you're gonna deal with that later. Okay.
And you'll just let me know about the raised bed, raised garden bed.
Do we need a resolution for that, or does that not matter?
They spending money or what are they doing?
They're just putting raised beds.
It's donated.
I don't have an issue.
Just a little 4x4,
I
it's
mean,
not
in
very
the
big.
past, haven't you guys done that kind of gardening and stuff around there without doing formal resolutions?
So do we have a consensus? Yeah, we have a consensus, so that's probably fine, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah?
we have
Okay,
a
perfect.
consensus.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Previous, they've supplied calendars that we've posted on the website, right, for the month? Do we have those? Is that,
I have
you have your
one.
calendars? Okay. All right, good. That might be an efficient way to keep them up.
If I could get an email from somebody, I can email it. I can email it to you. Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Okay. All right, thank you. Action packed. All right, Merrymakers. I don't see Linda or Kathy or Linda or Kathy. Okay. All right, communications received. All right, under new business tonight, we did a repair on the senior center roof, and we've got a determination that we need a lot more work. I think we're busy.
Can you name the
make a resolution to get some estimates to get that roof done.
Who's gonna prepare the specs for you guys? You know, just who can tell generally these bidders what they would have to do?
Well, it's gonna be a complete replacement of the roof. Drip edge, flashing if need be.
Steve, would you be the contact for the bidders with the town?
Sure.
There you go. Now you just have to approve it. Motion's made, you need a second. But do you want to do it later?
Can we do it with our batches of
Yeah, you
motions and
can.
resolutions?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Under lunch break, okay. All right. Any other new business? All right, under old business, youth director, youth program. Anyone have any updates?
I received one phone call on a person that was interested, but then they learned how much the pay was for the year, and they're no longer interested. So we still have it out there. Vicky posted again online. I shared it to every different Facebook group that I could find, and to try to put as much out there as possible. I think we just got to keep being diligent and keep going until we find somebody.
Okay. All right, the furnace upgrade and repair?
I haven't got any, other than that one. Who's that, Lake and Bauer, that sent that one? That we had before last month, that's the only one I had.
You had Trojan here once, and then Megan Bauer came the second time?
No, Lake and Bauer was the only one that gave us a bid on upgrading.
Oh.
This is the upgraded propane? Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I think that's what it,
And just one bid?
The chimney had a bird nest in it, it was pretty plugged, so I think a lot of that was due to that, why the furnace wasn't running properly.
Okay. All right, the repair to the window in the conference room, we've got to get that done.
right, and it's not on any of the Bone Seals contracts,
Okay,
like we originally thought it was.
okay. So make a motion tonight to get a quote or just have Eric repair it? I mean,
Just want to get a quote.
okay.
I mean, it's something, you can just take that window out and take it down to any glass place and they would replace it. I did it in my camper. I can't.
Want to do it here?
That's gotta be under the procurement
You know,
policy.
if it's
It can't be that expensive.
something you could fix.
Just a glass place, you know, plenty of glass
Right.
places around to do the repairs.
That one over
Should be
the
able
water,
to just
leak,
take
quality
the
ones.
window out and take it down. They would probably replace it.
Okay. Okay, maybe we can skip a motion on that then, gentlemen, and just get it done amongst
I'll
ourselves.
make a couple calls down to window places and see what it's gonna, just take it in and get it done. I know I had a couple I broke too in my camper.
Right, okay.
Police Ace Hardware does it too, or you can get glass there
Okay,
too.
thanks, thank you. Okay. All right, capital computers, backup and miscellaneous services. This is for the backup of all of our computer systems with the exception of the bookkeeper's software, because I already did that. So what are we thinking with that? Just- No further thought on that.
No further, I got no comment on computers at all.
Okay. Okay, all right, well, the bookkeeping is safe, so we're good with that. All right, we're on to public comment, unless anyone has any more old business. Gentlemen? All right, we're on to public comment. Reminder that public comment is limited to 5 minutes per person. Be mindful the public comment portion of the meeting is a privilege. All comments and statements shall be directed to the town board. Please refrain from any personal attacks, name calling, or derogatory public comments toward individuals. All right, who'd like to start tonight? Sounds good to me. All right, moving on. No, I'm being facetious, I'm sorry. That looked good there for a minute. All right, who would like to start this evening?
I'll start.
All right, okay, Donna Baldwin.
On March 19th, I submitted a FOIL request in particular for the youth program for the summer program of 2021 and 2022. I was looking in particular for how many students or children were served in the programs, how many were from out of town, etc. I have asked numerous times in this venue for a report back as to if the fees had been collected, etc., for the students that were from out of town. It was very interesting to me when I reviewed the information that was provided to me that in 2021, the overall cost of running the program for the Youth Commission, including payroll and vouchers, was $8,626.43 for 4 weeks. We did receive payments of $1,120 from Peters, well, for 2021, it was multiple payment sources. So the actual end of the year program cost $7,506.43 for 4 weeks. 2022, with payroll, vouchers, the emergency fund for the food, that was $1,000 added on. The expense was $10,249.31 for 4 weeks. We did recover $1,515 from Petersburg for fees charged for children that attended. I believe it was 10 children. So the overall operating cost for that program was $8,734.31. I was informed that there were 10 students that attended in 2022 that were not from the town and not covered under Petersburg reimbursement. 2 were from Pittstown, 2 were from Troy, 1 from Berlin, and 5 from Bosenkel. That's 10 students, $20 a day, 5 days a week. That's potentially quite a bit of money. So there was no attempt made to collect the fees that were due from that program. I was told, and what concerns me is that this happened in 2021 and it happened in 2022. Also, in review of the vouchers, there in 2021 there was an emergency meeting held where we approved $1,000 for air conditioners because it was so hot in 2021. So where are those air conditioners that cost $1,000? And the emergency fund for $1,000 for food, which was approved on August 8th. I only saw vouchers totaling $120 in food purchased after August 8th when the $1,000 was transferred to the fund. So, kind of concerned. There was a lot of bookkeeping errors and things that if I were overseeing a program, I'd be a little concerned with. There was a bowling trip, for instance, that cost $671.55. $500 was petty cash, and then there was a note at the top of the receipt that we owe someone $171.55. Like, how is that acceptable? It's just, and I have my hours worth of work, 5 pages, and my envelope that I was provided. If anybody wants to look at what I'm referencing, it's all right here. It's kind of an expensive program to run at this point. And that does not include the youth director's salary. That was only her 5 counselors, not her payment.
Yeah, I'd like to go over those numbers. We also, the county gives town money towards that program and food. So we totally have a summer food program throughout the county.
That's time.
And I would like to see those.
Sure enough. I'll make you a copy of my
Okay.
breakdown.
I believe we're one of the least expensive ones too. I think Steventown's program was over $30,000 for a month-long program. So And
I guess my point is, you had 10 children that attended, that the taxpayers covered the expense of these 10 children, and there was no attempt to recover fees that were supposed to be paid for this program.
yeah,
Not
I
1 year, but 2 years in a
need
row.
copy of that as well, because I don't think that number is.
It's what I was
accurate.
provided by the town clerk. She can verify from her personal email and the information
Okay.
that she submitted to
Pierce
me.
is gonna take a look at that stuff.
Yes, sir, I'll be happy to hand it to you.
Thank you. Thank
You're welcome.
All right, who else tonight? Yes, David Buckley.
Madam Supervisor, I just wanted to know if you are in receipt of my communication that was sent today, and if the town clerk is also in receipt of that communication.
Yes, I did have it.
Okay, I have not received receipt of that, so I want to thank you for doing that publicly. Can someone tell me how long the code enforcement officer has been in their appointed position? Because I'm just not sure. I'm just curious if anybody knows the answer to that. Tom's present, maybe you could tell us.
4 years.
24 years, thank you. I want to share what's been going on down in one of the lake districts down here on South Long Pond. There is property in front of from the water line back to the people's property line that is not owned by no one but Rensselaer County. It's owned by Rensselaer County, and it is part of the Dyke and Pond Environmental Center. And what has happened over the years is people have built structures in front of the water line, which is beyond their property, on county parkland. And what they have done is built beach houses with electricity. They have overreached and built decks and all sorts of stuff. And new owners have been pushed out on land that is provided for as a park. And I want you to know that over the years, I have tried numerous times to get the records from the code enforcement officer and the town clerk, and nobody refuses to give me nothing. And for 24 years, our town has not done anything about building structures on land that is owned by the county on parkland. Now, Pierce, you are familiar with this story because, well, you must be, because I'll tell you why. You worked for them for years. This has been an issue for a long time. And what has happened now is people are deciding who can be down there. And what has happened is people are telling the neighbors where they can and can't be on parkland. I have exhausted all my diplomatic means of trying to get some sort of enforcement of illegal structures being built permanently on county-owned land, and I can get nothing done with the code enforcement officer or building inspector. Mainly because we don't have an email for him and I can't forward it to him. So therefore, our town's clerk becomes the secretary for him. I don't understand why he does not have an email. The last time I was here, it was discussed we had email problems. Why does our town clerk have an email for town clerk? And she also has one for dog control officer. Why does our planning board have a secretary, but our town supervisor does not? Why does Jared have a valid email, but our code enforcement officer does not? I do not understand why there is absolutely no enforcement. There's not even a complaint form that he could take care of it and have a record and create a record. Instead, I'm forced to deal with the town clerk, who is acting as town clerk and doing the best she can, but she's not Tom's secretary. She's not. If we have a planning board secretary and a secretary to the assessor, and Vicky is acting as Tom's secretary, why did we take away the secretary for the supervisor? Something is fundamentally wrong with this. It is no longer a question of what's wrong with this, but what is right about what goes on up here. We have, once again, we have people building structures on county land that is owned by a park, and Tom refuses to do nothing. Nothing. I'll also warn you that this neighbor is proposing to move a creek because of his failing septic system, and he's going to do it without absolutely disregard of the rest of the neighbors. I'm warning you now in the town and Tom that something is going to come to a head. If we don't solve this issue, people are threatening people. It has elevated itself to criminal harassment. We need to fix this. I am done advising you. From here on in, I expect the county, Mr. Town Attorney, you're very chummy with the county. Can you get someone to look at this? Because the lack of enforcement and people building structures on land that's not theirs creates the idea of exclusive use, which they do not have. And I also want to advise the town board that these structures that are built in front of me that are not mine have been assessed to my property because Craig doesn't even know that this land isn't even part of it. He thinks it's part of mine. This is why I'll be attending the grievance board next week and grieving this along with several of my other neighbors because we're all classified as waterfront property, and guess this?
That's time.
We don't own the property, the county does. You guys have major problems, it needs to be fixed.
Could I comment on this?
Please do.
So, a year or two ago, we started looking into that because it was surveyed. So a survey is done showing what you own, your neighbors own, and it was clear. So our county attorney was working with the people who are involved in all of this.
And I'm one of them, sir.
And you're one of them. And I can tell you that the history of the filling in of the lake started in the 50s.
That's
because
fine.
we did enough research to know that at one time when Bear Manning owned Dyke and Pond and the dam, raised the water level up and down as needed in the Posting Hill Creek, since Dyke and Pond's the headwaters of Posting Hill.
That's correct.
And people that had property, the lake would move out as the water was drained out, and they used to put boards and things to get to the water. And people started saying, well, why am I doing that? I'm just going to fill it in. So they started filling it in with railroad ties and debris and things of that nature until you got to where you are now.
That's correct. But what's happened, sir, is all the successors of these properties now have waterfront property
Yes, I know.
that isn't waterfront property. And as a result, I have been paying taxes on property that is supposedly waterfront property. And you ready for this? I don't even have access to it because all my neighbors have moved in front of me and are telling me I can't be down there.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
looked at this legally.
Yeah?
Administration is well aware of this issue. We have talked about it, and obviously, it's a very complex
It's
situation.
very simple. People are currently constructing structures on land that's not
Yeah,
theirs,
and
and
we
they're
know
now
that.
threatening the neighbors on where they can and
Well,
can't be.
that's a problem.
That's the
But the
issue.
point is, so the county had said, well, what are our options? Well, someone mentioned that we would just reclaim that property and bring it back to, by removing the material.
I would encourage you to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because at least that will give me an opportunity to get to it. I'm serious. That something needs to be done. The
Still
decision
very
needs to
much
be made.
going on.
Tom's certainly not going to do it after 24 years.
It's
okay?
ongoing, though. We have the county attorneys involved. There's not a lot of movement right now. I will go back and mention this again, your concerns.
Well, I met with the sheriff's office yesterday, sir. I also met with the State Department of Taxation as well on Friday. So everyone's aware of it,
Yeah.
and everyone's been told, okay? But what we really need is someone to get down there and start advising people that nobody has a right to tell anyone where they can and can't be, because that's harassment. And I am not going to tolerate it another day. I'm not. This is my third year I'm starting, and none of my neighbors are going to tell me that I can't be down there along with my invited guests while I'm on parkland. It's as simple as that.
I hear you. We are concerned about
Well,
this.
let it be known. I want my comments added into the record, Madam Town Clerk. Thank you very much.
Anyone else from the floor tonight? Yes, Ann Calabro.
I just wanted to talk about the fact that I submitted a FOIL request on February 15th for Mr. Lewandowski's emails for the past 2 years. And as of April 15th, the Records Access Officer still had not received them. So I'm appealing this now through the proper channels. So I'm sure that Mr. Lewandowski knows how the Freedom of Information Act works. And I'm sure that he understands that non-compliance doesn't look good. I don't want to take this to court, since the town would end up paying for the court fees. I'm sure everyone feels this council member has cost the town enough money as it is. He ran on transparency and serving the county, but I'm not seeing it. So I'm escalating this to the Committee for Open Government. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anyone else tonight from the floor? No. All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving to motions and resolutions this evening. As we know earlier, we have a lot more scattered in than what we had already had scheduled. Why don't I just start going into motions, and we can, if you gentlemen have written down any other ones, made notes of any other ones that we need to do, and then we'll get to the resolution. All right, I'd like to make a motion to allow for the Everett Wager Senior Center to have a musical event using the town gazebo on July 18th. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Beaudry.
Councilman Beaudry,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. All right, similarly, we have a motion proposed this evening by the Everett Wager Senior Center for the construction of a small raised bed in front of the senior center. I'd like to make a motion that the Everett Wager Senior Center, under the direction of Director Overrocker, are enabled to do this. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Councilman Hoyt.
Councilman Beaudry,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. All right, I'd like to,
Make a motion for the roof.
yes, there you go, Councilman Beaudry.
Make a motion to have prices given to replace the roof at the senior center.
I'll second that.
Councilman Beaudry,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. And then I'd like to make a motion establishing a $500 petty cash amount for the Recreation Committee. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilman Beaudry.
Councilman Beaudry,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. Any other strays we missed?
Appointing Donna and
Okay. Yep, the appointing new members to the committee, which, here we are, okay. I'd like to make a motion to add Donna Baldwin and Leanna Sweet to the Recreation Committee, which presently consists of Jen Rogoski, Nancy Palish-LaRock, and Heather Hasbrook. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Hoyt.
Councilman Beaudry,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Leonard.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Then moving forward into the resolutions that were on the agenda, Councilman Lewandowski has introduced a few of them this evening, so I'm going to let him get us started with the resolutions.
Resolution recognizing Thursday, May 4th, 2023 as National Day of Prayer, whereas the first Thursday of May marks the 71st annual observance of the National Day of Prayer, and whereas the Congress of the United States of America in the year of 1952 established an annual day of prayer, whereas millions of Americans have assembled each year in churches, synagogues, mosques, schools, parks, and other venues to intercede on behalf of our great nation, and whereas citizens of all religions, beliefs, join together and put aside their differences in annual observance of prayer reflection like our founding fathers of America did to seek the wisdom of a higher council when faced with critical decisions. And whereas today our great country faces extremely difficult times and daunting challenges, from economic turmoil to the threat of terrorism to moral confusion, and whereas every president since 1952 has called for and proclaim the National Day of Prayer and ask people to turn to God in prayer and meditation. And whereas the following precedent established by the presidents and the leaders throughout our history proclaiming reliance on the Almighty God, calling citizens to come before Him and on behalf of our nation. And whereas the theme of the 2023 is pray fervently for righteousness and avail much. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Grafton hereby proclaims May 4th, 2023 as National Day of Prayer. I'd like to accept this. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Bozak?
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt?
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn?
Abstain.
Does there have to be a reason to abstain?
We're gonna fight over this, guys. Let's keep going.
That's what he does.
No, stop, please, from the floor, please.
I pray he loses.
Okay, moving on.
Resolution recognizing May 2023 as Mental Health Month. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall physical health and emotional well-being, and caring for your mind as well as your body is as good for your overall health and vital for success in personal life, at work, and at school. And whereas mental illness will strike nearly 1 in 4 adults and children in a given year, regardless of age, gender, race, ethnicity, religion, or economic status. And whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our nation, and all Americans experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives. And whereas this year the theme for Mental Health Month is celebrating the power of community kindness, the campaign is focused on how surrounding impact mental health and is calling for individuals to look around and look within. And whereas with efficient treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives. Whereas each business, school, government agency, faith-based organization, healthcare provider organization, and citizens share the burden of mental health problems and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Grafton hereby recognizes May 2023 as Mental Health Month. I'd like to make a motion to accept it. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Bozak?
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski?
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. Okay. All right, resolution number 58 of 2023 is a resolution to approve as to form and substance proposed local law number 1 of 2023 establishing real property exemptions for volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers. We had a public hearing on this earlier this evening at 6:30. Whereas the town of Grafton is desirous of establishing real property tax exemptions for volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers, and whereas the town board has reviewed proposed local law number 1 of the year 2023 attached hereto, and whereas such local law appears appropriate as to form and substance, and a public hearing having been conducted so as to consider public comments on such proposed local law. Now therefore be it resolved that proposed local law number 1 of the year 2023 is hereby approved as to form and substance, and be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to file a certified copy of local law number 1 of 2023 with the office of the New York State Secretary of State. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 58 approving local law number 1.
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lewandowski.
Councilman Bozak?
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski?
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. All right. And the last resolution of this evening we are actually going to table. This is the resolution approving consultant services for the generator project. We're going to table that. All right, moving on to pay the bills as audited. We have vouchers number 192 through 234 for a total of $45,093.67. 61 cents. $45,093.61. I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills. May I have a second?
45, I got 42.
I have 42.
Did you change it?
That's because.
I changed that on yours because we added that $3,000 for the Eastern Mountain.
The roof
The
repair.
The roof, yes,
So it should have gone up by 3,000, exactly, right?
plus 3,000.
Yes, okay, so you had 42,09361, and now we have 45,09361.
Yeah.
And Vicki added another voucher on to 34. All right, I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilman Bowdre.
Councilman Bowdre,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt, Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn.
Yes. All right, for upcoming meetings, our next town board meeting is June 12th, 2023 at 7 PM. So there's that, June 12th, 2023 at 7 PM. Do we have anything for legislative privilege?
I do.
Okay.
I just want to respond to Ann. You requested 2 years' worth of emails. I have to go through every email and see whether it's foilable or not, and that's what's taking so long. It should be done very, very shortly. That's all I got.
Anyone else for legislative privilege? Okay, I'd like to take a moment with legislative privilege and just state that as May is the month in which we Americans set aside Memorial Day to honor our military who have made the ultimate sacrifice in May. That we remember, recognize, and honor those among us who have made that ultimate sacrifice in defense of our nation and all of our freedoms. And that would be Private First Class Joseph R. Carner, Private Franklin G. Edman, and Staff Sergeant Leland C. Smith, all of whom were killed in action overseas in World War II. So as the banners go up, it's somewhat solemn that we honor and remember their memory and all of their sacrifices for us. And that's what I have for that. And then I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn tonight in loving memory of Judy McDonald Wells. Today is actually her 78th birthday, but she passed away last weekend. But I'd like to make a motion to adjourn in her memory this evening. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilman Lewandowski. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.